Good morning. Hello, everybody. How is everyone doing? I am so excited to be here, and I am excited that you are here because it tells me that you are interested in learning more and growing more on your Montessori journey. So I am beyond excited that you are here. How is everybody doing? What a great morning today it is. Guys, it is really early here. How early is it over there? Let me know in comments if you can hear me okay, if things are looking good. Is my volume okay? And where you are watching from. Don't forget, you're going to need notes to take notes, okay? So have paper and pencil or pen to take some notes. This is going to be an important one. And I'm going to show you really quickly. Let's get started, and then I will show you really quickly how to get into the trainings, okay? Here it is. Let's get started.
Hey there, this is Tanya Wright from MasterTheMontessoriLife.com, the place for Montessori lovers ready to make themselves centered, organized Montessori guides, nurture happy, normalized children, and create smooth, successful Montessori days. Let's get you closer to your transformation today. Welcome.
Welcome to the show, MasterTheMontessoriLife.com. And I am so excited to be here. I am Tanya Wright, and I do these live trainings almost every Thursday at 9:30 Eastern. And so far, so good. This is episode number 40. So it is exciting that we have a trajectory here. We have a really nice journey that we are on. And you know what? I want to get you closer to your transformation, one live training at a time. So let me invite you really quickly to a couple of things. First, I want to invite you to our Facebook groups. All right. Number one, if you are a homeschooler, whether you're doing Montessori or not, you're welcome to join the Natural Homeschool community. And if you want all things Montessori, then join the Facebook group called the Montessori Way Prep Room. All you have to do is go to Facebook, and in the search window, you're going to look for the Montessori Way Prep Room, or you go to facebook.com/groups/the Montessori Way. Either way, you will find us, request to join. There are a lot of people there that are like-minded like you that want to learn and grow more in Montessori. All right. So having said that, I also want to invite you to the giveaway that we have going on right now. It is so exciting. You need to go to masterthemontessorilife.com and either search in the window for giveaway, or you will enter this whole entire link, which is, I know it's pretty long, but let me show you really quickly how to get in. Let me find, hold on. I'm going to show you how to go in. Ready? All right. So you are going to go to masterthemontessorilife.com, and it's going to look like this, right? The main page. As soon as you go to masterthemontessorilife.com, you're going to go to live trainings if you want to see all of our live trainings. They are added every week. So if you want to catch up, you want to learn more about different topics, you are going to find them all right here, all 40 episodes, okay? And there will be more added as time goes by. But let me show you another way too. If you know that today was a live training, then you go to masterthemontessorilife.com, and then you're going to come to this graphic right here in the middle that says blog. So you're going to click there, and it's going to show you the latest blog posts. And now that we're here, let me show you both. Here is the link to go to the giveaway. Enter the giveaway from September 13th to September 20th. For the introspective journal, there will be 3 winners. And here is the blog post for sensitive periods that will have today's live training later in the day. Okay, so having said that, now that you know what it looks like, now you can go and find your way around the website. Okay, all right. And what else? What else do I have to say? Oh, yeah. We were on that main page, masterthemontessorilife.com. You want to receive our weekly emails. There is a form right there. Okay. So you fill out that form. Let me show it to you real fast. So you're going to go to the main page, right? masterthemontessorilife.com. Right here, you're going to enter your first name and your email and subscribe, and you will receive the weekly emails. You won't miss a thing. If there's a giveaway, there's a sale, there's anything, right? Anything that is going on, you will know, you will find out via those emails. So anything and everything Montessori, if there's any special training, any live training, any, like I said, giveaway, any special, any sale, any, I don't know, any important announcement, but it's once a week, right? That you receive that. So I give you all the information in that one email. And let's see, let's get started with our training. I'm finding the slides so you can see it. There we go. Today's training is awesome. I know I tell you that every week, but it is true. Every week there's an awesome topic. I pick the ones that people struggle with the most, and my hope is to move you forward, just a little bit closer to your Montessori goals, one step at a time, one training at a time. So make sure that you have some notes available, paper, pencil, pen, anything to jot some notes today. Okay, so today's topic is 3 things you must know about the Montessori sensitive periods. I was doing the workshop a few weeks ago, and I know that so many of you were interested in sensitive periods. I mentioned this product, which is Guide to Discover the Child's Sensitive Periods. It's a digital book. It's a printable download, and it has been super helpful to a lot of people. Everyone that has purchased it has said that it's been incredibly helpful for them. And so there was a need in the workshop. I couldn't go into more detail inside the workshop about sensitive periods, but I put this resource together, and paired with the information that I will give you today, I think it will be very helpful. So share with your friends. If you know of a friend that is struggling about sensitive periods, not really knowing what they are or how to go about doing them, then this will be a really great way to start, okay? So what are sensitive periods and why are they so important? Sensitive periods are those periods of time when a child's absorbent mind is most ready to learn and even master a certain skill in their own development. It can also be described as a time where a child is intensely interested in specific skills. Oh, something's going on with, there it is. My mouse just disappeared all of a sudden. All right, these sensitive periods are very, very important. And I know that a lot of you have been asking about them. So remember that this hinges on the way the child learns around their world and the opportunities that the child is exposed to. So every child is different. Every child will learn in their own way, but it also has to do with the outside. So it's not just nature, it has to do with nurture as well. If you don't expose a child to a certain skill, will that child learn that skill? Well, no, or they might, but it will be really, really hard. So it has to do with nature, the way that they are made to be and to be interested in those open windows of opportunity, but also the opportunities that are presented to the child or that the child is exposed to. And that is where we come in. We cannot control the child, but we can control the environment around them to make it the best possible, right? In the Montessori method, we definitely can take advantage of these open windows of opportunity to maximize learning because we are hitting the nail on the head. If we are doing everything right, and we will get a little more into it today, then you will be more successful in terms of really helping the child learn. In this training, we're going to discuss 3 things that you must know when it comes to sensitive periods so you can go about it right. All right? The list of sensitive periods is vast. It is a really long list. I mean, simply think about all of the skills that children learn in the first 6 or 7 years of life, 6 or 7 years of life. They learn so many skills. All of those skills present the sensitive periods, those windows of opportunity when they are the most primed to learn them. But some of these sensitive periods, let me give you just a few. Fine motor skills for handling small objects. Have you seen a child with that sensitive period open? Or what about fine motor skills to trace a letter? Have you noticed that a child is not interested one day and then all of a sudden very interested the next day or the next week? That is a window opportunity. Or what about learning letter shapes and sounds? There are windows of opportunity for those as well, and so many others. We're only focusing on the actual skills, not the sensitive periods in particular, because I'll explain it to you in a minute. All right. So let's get into point number 1. Ready? Write it down. Sensitive periods vary from child to child. Sensitive periods vary from child to child. Write that down. And don't forget it. We're not putting children in a box. Let me give you a quote by Maria Montessori that will be very helpful with this point. A sensitive period refers to a special sensitivity which a creature acquires in its infantile state while it is still in a process of evolution. It is a transient disposition and limited to the acquisition of a particular trait. Once this trait or characteristic has been acquired, this special sensitivity disappears. So, yes, these windows of opportunity have a closing time. I will continue with the quote now. Every attained with the help of a passing impulse or potency. Growth is therefore not to be attributed to a vague inherited predetermination, but to efforts that are carefully guided by periodic or transient instincts. These give direction by furnishing an impulse toward a determined kind of activity that can differ notably from the adult of that species. So this is very, very scientific talk by Dr. Maria Montessori, the creator of the Montessori method, but it actually makes you think a little bit more deeply about how much thought she put into these sensitive periods. If you would like to read this quote, make sure that you check on later today. Go to masterthemontessorilife.com and search sensitive periods. Find this training and you will see the quote in there, okay? As you go and do your intent and deliberate observations of every child, you will need to be taking notes. You must notice everything, big and small. Write it all down and keep track of any changes. You need to have a sensitive periods chart with you so you can constantly assess what sensitive periods are open, about to open, or about to close in a child. So here's the resource that I created. I will tell you a little more about it later, but it comes with a sensitive period chart that I created. I made it with, it's very thorough, very complete, and very well tested. I have 16 years of Montessori experience. And let me tell you, these sensitive period charts are golden. You can find it in this resource that I will tell you about in a minute, or you can also find it inside the Montessori Way Foundation's framework, where we go more in depth in sensitive periods and we actually do a lot of strategizing because there is more time. The Montessori Way Foundation's framework is a 6-month framework program that I take clients on with me as their coach. So in the 6 months, we get to do a lot of strategizing. If you want to join the wait list for that, then make sure that you join the wait list, and I will let you know as soon as enrollment opens, because it only opens 2 or 3 times a year. That's it. All right. But it's super awesome. It's really good and it helps everyone. So go to masterthemontessorilifecom/TMWFF if you want to join the wait list. Okay. So write it on your notes and then make sure that you go visit that at the end of the training. You need to have a sensitive periods chart, like I said, so you can assess when the sensitive periods are open, they're about to open, or about to close in each child that you're working with. I have the sensitive periods chart. Like I said, it is very thorough and it gives you guidance on how to go about deciphering what these important times in young children's lives are. Please understand that sensitive periods are very fluid and they vary from child to child. As you consult the sensitive periods chart, pay attention to its general guidance, but know that just like we don't put a child in a box, the chart is not set in stone either. It is not a one size fits all kind of chart. I am just giving you, out of thousands of observations over the 16 years of experience that I have, I'm giving you the guide for the norm, okay? Knowing that children might be, some children might be outside the norm, and that is okay. That's the beauty of following the child, right? We discover something beautiful and new in the child on the daily basis. Ready for point number 2? Let's go to sensitive periods vary in length. That's right. Sensitive periods vary in length. A quote by Dr. Maria Montessori is, "Adults have no direct influence on these different states, but if a child has not been able to act according to the directives of his sensitive period, the opportunity of a natural conquest is lost, and it is lost for good." So we need to be very aware of when these sensitive periods are open. so we can jump in and take advantage by preparing the correct works for them for that sensitive period so they can learn, practice, and master that skill while the sensitive period is open. As I mentioned before, sensitive periods vary from child to child, but they also vary in length. If you look at the sensitive periods chart that I have in this resource, in the Guide to Discover the Child's Sensitive Periods, you will see that some of the sensitive periods vary in length. Some are longer, lasting all first 7 years of life, and others are very short, sometimes even shorter than 12 months. So some children might have their sensitive period open for 4.5 years, and others just for one. Some children's sensitive periods for movement might be open from birth, and others might, start to be interested in movement when they are older. Once they are walking or once they are running, then they are interested in more movement. These are just some examples. There are so many sensitive periods that it would be really hard to go through them all. So that's why I want to give you the foundations of the sensitive periods. We go a lot more in depth inside the Montessori Way Foundations framework, but here you will have a really good start. In reality, every child is different and they will all learn at their own pace. The important thing is to catch the specific periods open and know what to do to take advantage in Montessori education. So observe the child, take note of what is open, make a plan of action for that child according to that child's specific interests. And this may look very differently from child to child, even if they're siblings, even if they're the same age, it doesn't matter. It can be completely different. So don't be shocked and don't be taken by surprise. All right. Now, I promised you that I would talk to you about, I have one more point to talk to you about, but I told you that I would share with you about this resource, the Sensitive Periods digital book. And so let me share that with you real quick. And then I'll be right back with point number 3, right?
Are you wondering if you are doing Montessori right or are fighting to get some guidance when embracing? Are you wondering if you are doing Montessori right or are fighting to get some guidance? When embracing the Montessori philosophy, you have to know how to best serve the children that you're working with. The best step that you can take is to learn more about the Montessori Sensitive Periods. Introducing Guide to Discover the Child's Sensitive Periods. It's a 20-page downloadable printable that will share with you what Montessori Sensitive Periods are and walk you through 8 actionable steps that will help you successfully detect and recognize the child's sensitive periods. You will be so glad that you did. So let's chat about how you can get this wonderful resource. Go to shop.masterthemontessorilife.com and search sensitive periods. shop.masterthemontessorilife.com.
All right, we're back. So remember that you're going to go to shop.masterthemontessorilife.com and you're going to search sensitive periods in the search window. It's going to be very, very easy for you to do. It's simple, it's easy. You will get an instant download of this. It's a PDF file with 20 pages, and you will be able to find in these pages, I'm going to give you 8 steps on how to go about sensitive periods the right way, but I also give you the sensitive periods chart. Now, if you want a chart with a lesson plan, then you will also see when you search for sensitive periods, you will see that product there as well. So there are 2 different products products, make sure that you remember this is the digital book, the 20-page one. And then there's another one that is just the sensitive periods chart with the lesson plan. So just so you are aware that there are two different things. All right, let's go to point number 3 so we can wrap things up. Point number 3, sensitive periods vary in order. Yes, they vary in order. Not only do Montessori sensitive periods vary from child to child and vary in length from child to child, they also vary in order. So don't freak out if you are expecting the child to be learning a certain skill at a certain age and they skip over it to go to something else. And then in time, months later, weeks later, or even years later, come back to that skill that they skipped. All right. So don't let that take you by surprise. It is perfectly normal and it happens. So I know, as if we didn't need another wrench thrown in the mix, right? You're already stressed out about sensitive periods themselves. You're saying, that a child, it varies from child to child, so it's a very individual customized thing for every single child. Then you're saying that they vary in length, and now you're telling me that they vary in order. Yes, they vary in order as well. But it is true that some children are ready for some skills that seem to be out of normal or natural order. But who's to say what normal is nowadays, right? Does that matter? In most cases, no. But you do need to consider, all right? So let me give you some examples. Does it matter whether a baby skips the crawling stage and goes from sitting straight to walking? Probably not. Although they will eventually do some crawling. You notice that toddlers do a fair amount of crawling while they're playing, like with toy cars or with little toy animals. They do some crawling there. So I wouldn't be super worried about that. Or it doesn't matter if a child learns to write in cursive before they learn to write in manuscript. Probably not. They will eventually learn to write both. And if they only want to do cursive, then is that the end of the world? You do need to consider things. So keep in mind that you might see these skipping of things. Don't freak out about it. Now, there are some things that you might want to consider, and we can go more in length at another training. For example, if a child is interested in multiplication or division before addition and subtraction, you do need to know some skills before you move on to others. So there are some things to consider. We go more in depth in that inside the Montessori Way Foundations framework, like troubleshooting these kinds of things. What happens with when it does matter if they skip some skills. So what to do. And I have a set of things to try. But I just don't want you to freak out if you see things coming out of order out of a particular child or several children. Keep following the child and make the call on whether the child is truly ready or simply curious. For example, my son was very interested in creating his own app with a video game type activity. He interviewed my dad, who is an app creator in collaboration with a team, and he asked my brother questions as well, who's also an app creator. After taking notes and learning of all the things he would need to learn and do, he realized that he wasn't ready for that huge jump going from 0 to 100. He discovered that he first needs to take more coding lessons and learn a specific set of skills with the computer. He also needs to find ways to save money to invest into this project. So as you can see, that sensitive period is open for him, but not because he's putting that big goal on hold. That means that he's not feeding it. He's simply starting to climb the ladder from the bottom one rung at a time instead of jumping to rung number 10, right? So that is an example on how this might look when it's out of order, right? So, your key takeaways for this training: sensitive periods are those periods of time when a child's absorbent mind is the most ready to learn and even master a certain skill in their development. They vary from child to child. They vary in length as to how long they are open for, and they also vary in order. So keep that in mind, okay? For a list of the resources for this particular training, you will want to go to, like I said, masterthemontessorilife.com. And you can either go to this link. I'm going to share it in the comments real quick. And if you are on a page, you won't, if you're in a group, sorry, you won't be able to get to that link. But because I'm streaming to several groups and pages, if you can't get to masterthemontessorilife.com, then to that link right there, then make sure that, let me put it in a banner real quick for you. So you're going to go to masterthemontessorilife.com, and there's the entire URL. I know that it's long, but you can also go to sensitive periods. So go to masterthemontessorilife.com and search in the search window sensitive periods, and you will see this training. This video will be there. The podcast audio will also be there, and all the resources, how to get to the sensitive period resources and other sensitive period information. All right. So you will get all of that inside that, as well as other related trainings that will help you further your journey in this Montessori topic of sensitive periods. All right. So go to masterthemontessorilife.com/3 things you must know about Montessori sensitive periods, with dashes in between each word. Or go to masterthemontessorilife.com and search for sensitive periods. And that's it. All right. So let me share with you again this resource, and then that will be the end of our training. Thank you so much for being here. And
are you wondering if you are doing Montessori right or are fighting to get some guidance? When embracing the Montessori philosophy, you have to know how to best serve the children that you're working with. The best step that you can take is to learn more about the Montessori sensitive periods. Introducing Guide to Discover the Child's Sensitive Periods. It's a 20-page downloadable printable that will share with you what Montessori sensitive periods are and walk you through 8 actionable steps that will help you successfully detect and recognize the child's sensitive periods. You will be so glad that you did. So let's chat about how you can get this wonderful resource. Go to shop.masterthemontessorilife.com and search sensitive periods. shop.masterthemontessorilife.com.
all right. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I love that you showed up for this training. It's going to be invaluable for you in the days, weeks, and months, and even years to come. So I hope that you took some notes. If not, go to the main website and make sure that you rewatch the training and take some notes. Well, that's it for today, but I want to say bye. I will see you next week, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.
I appreciate you sharing time with me today. You have tons of choices about what you're listening to, and I love that you chose Master the Montessori Life show. Thank you. Well, that's it for today. Until next time, this is Tanya Wright with MasterTheMontessoriLife.com. I hope that you will take the time to digest the training to create solutions that will bring about smooth, successful Montessori days for you. Let's get you closer to that transformation today.